Okay, I'm doing another video response. This is to a post by Orange Box, which you can read on the forum. I'll read out bits of what he says and then give my thoughts to it. I'll miss the first paragraph, so I pretty much agree with what he says there, except the last sentence. The second paragraph, autonomy is inconsistent with reality in that while it maintains morality is not objective, society applies moral laws objectively. Well, this is just wrong. A law is not a moral. Society comes up with laws because it's trying to achieve a certain goal, something like keeping people safe from harm. That doesn't make something moral or immoral because someone's made a law. All a law is a kind of an agreement, a middle ground between people in the society of the kind of thing they all sort of agree on. Obviously not everyone does. But you either have some rules or you have no rules, and it's been shown that some rules are better. But morality is about people deciding for themselves what is good and what is bad. It's about deciding what actions they should do. No one can make a law and say something is so. You could say that society appears to be saying what's moral and what isn't, but a law is just not the same as a moral. It's just not. It's two completely different things. It may be the case that people find laws immoral and that's how they want to change them. If autonomy were true, then no single moral truth claim could be applied to multiple individuals as being consistent with the foundation of autonomy. Autonomy as a moral framework prevents any universal application of moral truth. Yet as a society functions just the opposite way. Society functions by universally applying moral truth claims. No, it doesn't. Take the moral truth claim that it is wrong to murder. Society has established a law based upon this moral truth claim, stating that murder is illegal, and anyone who murders will be punished, yet illegal. Law isn't the same as morality. Law is a set of rules which are essentially arbitrary, but in reality are a sort of a reflection of a middle ground between everyone's sort of based on morality, but law isn't dictating morality. It's not illegal to be immoral. It's not even meant to be that way. Law isn't deciding what's moral and immoral. You're allowed to do immoral things. There's plenty of immoral things that are legal. And plenty of, possibly moral things that are illegal. It's not meant to decide morality. It's simply a set of rules. And if you break them, you'll be punished. It's as simple as that. It's not a statement of morality. So trying to say that is morality, that's the mistake. It's not. And you can just say that it is if you want, but you're just dealing with two entirely different things. You're dealing with, you've got individuals' morality, you've got societal norms, and then you've got laws which are very, very vaguely raised about those societal norms. But again, the laws aren't meant to say what is moral or what isn't moral. Legal doesn't mean moral, and illegal doesn't mean immoral. It's not as simple as that. It's wrong to murder. Yeah, well, most people agree on that because we care about well-being. So, murdering someone is about the worst thing you can do to someone's well-being. So it's not surprising most people agree with it. Most societies agree with that. They don't have to. They don't have to have a law saying that. If autonomy were true, a person who murders wouldn't be punished. Well, again, it's not right. So people wouldn't be punished. So again, he's saying that the law is meant to be a reflection of morality, and it's not. If autonomy were true, society would respond to the murderer by saying, that's immoral for me but moral for you, therefore we have no basis by which to punish you. No, they wouldn't. They'd say, well, if you think that's okay, I'm afraid that's too bad. We have to look after the interests of most of our society, and killing people is bad for our society, so we're going to have to remove you from it. They don't have to justify that by saying what's moral or immoral or anything like that. They just say that's the rule and that's the end of it. And you could say that, rules shouldn't be that way, but that's another argument, okay? It's in this way that autonomy is inconsistent with reality and should be rejected as an explanation for the ontology of morality. And it's not inconsistent. People are allowed to have their own opinions about morality. They do. Everyone has their own opinion. If you say that people don't have their own opinion about morality, then you're denying reality. Because that is exactly what happens. I don't know how you could possibly think otherwise. No one agrees exactly on what's moral and immoral. An explanation. That is what happens. It's as simple as that. The fact that society can't have, rules that change for every single person depending on their morality, and it's not trying to do that. The laws of society are there to just protect society in the way that society generally thinks is necessary. I mean, in a nice country, hopefully laws are as liberal as possible in that, you only stop people doing things when you really have to. You don't keep stepping in, like our forum is moderated quite liberally. You only step in when you have to. You don't step in and go, that's a little bit bad, you can't do that, can't do that, can't do that, Yeah. Utilitarianism is logically inconsistent. Determines the moral value of action given on whether there's maximising well-being. Yep, okay. The foundation is subjective, yep. The foundation is essence one single moral rule, do what maximises well-being, yep. Any action concurring with this rule is moral, and any action contradicting rule is immoral. Yeah, but what exactly maximises well-being, what doesn't, is a matter of opinion. So each person's going to have, different ideas about whether something is maximising well-being or how well it's doing so. So that's a matter of opinion. So that isn't an objective standard. Therein lies a consistency. Functioning within utilitarianism, however, requires acquiring the moral rule universally and thus subjecting every individual to it. Therein lies the inconsistency. It's not applying a rule to anyone. That's like a rule of thumb. That's a principle which then people take. Well-being is not a well-defined thing. It's not like just a number, and we're trying to get that number as high as possible. Well-being is a massive amount of different factors. So to say that that's an objective rule is ridiculous. I mean, you could say we all objectively, we could objectively agree that is the principle, and objectively that's the principle. But in reality, we'd all apply that principle differently. If something is applied universally, it's no longer subject to individuals' feelings or opinions and is therefore no longer subjective. No, the principle is not subjective if we agree to it, but the application of the principle is entirely subjective. This is a category mistake. Well, no, it's not, as I just explained. Utilitarianism derives its moral truth values subjectively but functions objectively. Well, no, I'll just explain that. Therefore, because utilitarianism is logically inconsistent, it should be rejected as an explanation. It's more of a scientific explanation than anything. I mean, because of evolution, we care about each other in general because that's what's been efficient. Working together as a team has been better than working alone. So those who work well as a team have done well in evolution. So there's more people like that than not. So that, the fact that we value well-being is a byproduct of that. And that, again, that's just the explanation. Just saying it's inconsistent is to misunderstand how it works. Because I said well-being is not simple matter. It's not just a number floating above your head. Everyone's opinion on what well-being actually is different, even if we agree that well-being as a concept is important. So what about God? Isn't he a person? I don't know what God is. No one can tell me what he is. I don't know. Isn't his asserted morality subjective in his morality is derived from his personal feelings or opinions? Yes, it is. If God is a person, he determines morality. Isn't morality subjective after all? Yes. Is the Christian moral framework logically inconsistent? Well, it's not inconsistent. You've just subjectively picked to follow that. You could have picked any, and then you're basically saying, I'm never going to change it. So you've got your own subjective morality, but you're saying it's objective in that I'm just not going to change it no matter what. So you've done the same as what other people do, except other people are willing to change. Moral truth value is given by God's personal feelings. I don't know why you care about God's personal feelings. Why are you worried about upsetting a God? Morality is determined as an extension of God's nature. Our perspective is objective. Yeah, okay, you could say his nature is objective, but what practical use is this? Who cares what his nature is? What does it matter? As far as I'm concerned, what is your goal for morality? If it's to make God happy, then I don't care about it. What's the point? Alright, that'll do. Cheers.